Hey guys, Julian here with USC's premier guitar ensemble, Super.Axe. They're probably the best guitar players on this planet right now, and we're going to hear them play right here. This is 1905 Main Street. You guys were amazing. You blew my mind. What is the background story behind Super.Axe?
Okay, well, Super.Axe is just a USC ensemble, and it's the fusion ensemble. So it's where all the guitar players go to shred and just play a lot of notes and have fun. I think it's definitely the best guitar ensemble at USC. Oh, yeah. By far. You get
Hands
to put
down.
all your pedals on and do a lot of things like that and make sounds. And you can pretty much do whatever you want in Super.Axe in terms of making noise, and it'll fit somewhere.
It sounded like
so that's my definition of Super.Axe. I don't know.
I mean,
That's pretty good.
I think I kind of know the history behind it. About 20 or so years ago, Richard Smith, who directs our ensemble, I don't think he's here, he started this ensemble in what's called the Studio Jazz Guitar Department at USC. It's a division within the music school, pretty much based on all fields of studying contemporary guitar. You know, they offer a bachelor's degree, which Liam and I are getting in guitar, and Jake and Will and Brian over here are getting in pop music, and Steve is actually getting his doctorate and from the guitar program.
You're going to be
And so
Dr. Steve.
Dr. Steve. And so anyways, about 20 years ago, Richard started teaching this ensemble, and as Steve said, it was basically a way for the guitar players in what was then very much a mostly jazz-oriented department to really kind of turn up and rock out. And it's, you know, there are different people in it every year. Where this year's version, a couple of the guys in here have been doing it for, I guess, 2 years now.
What would be the main difference between the pop music major and the guitar program at USC?
Yeah, I'd say the main difference is the guitar programs is definitely more focused on the instrument. Really just becoming proficient. You work a lot with fellow guitar players, a lot of kind of duo work between guitar players, and really just building fundamentals and learning a lot of jazz repertoire, as well as some pop repertoire. And the pop music major is more focused on kind of learning repertoire from really the beginning of pop music, from all the way from the 50s, going through, you know, Beatles, funk, Motown, rock music like like Zeppelin, Beatles, all that stuff, and 80s, 90s, 2000s, and then focusing a lot on songwriting and kind of ensemble playing with, you know, singer-songwriters leading it. And I mean, maybe Will, you can fill in more.
Yeah, no, I mean, it goes from the 50s to contemporary. We've done, you know, Elvis to Radiohead, and you take 2 years doing very, very, very detailed covers of all the songs that you're assigned, and then you play them live. And then I'm a junior in the program, and this year we're in the studio every week doing our originals. So now that we have pretty much everybody in the program has some songwriting experience, some are, you know, incredible songwriters, some people are just starting out, and so we're working on original music and dialing in tones and getting the studio work done in 25 minutes, so you have a chart and a song to get done like that. So that's what we're practicing right now, and then we're getting ready for a showcase at the end of the year. And then senior year is a large kind of senior project kind of thing, I guess.
Basically, you just focus on something that's really of interest to you, whether it be like producing your own album or working on somebody else's thing, or maybe working something in education field or anything like that. Whatever you choose.
That's on an individual.
Yeah, and that's in the senior year.
Okay. Well, for the audition, how much do you need to prepare regarding like music theory, reading?
Which program are you talking about? Just both?
The guitar program.
Oh, the guitar program. I seem to remember that there was a sight reading component. We were asked to know certain scale, just like, you know, basic fundamental scales, and we had to play a jazz standard or two with a faculty member. Am I right?
We also had to do a chord melody.
That's true. Solo guitar arrangement.
Yeah. No, I had never done that, so
Me neither.
I was just kind of sitting at my computer, like thinking, "Oh no, college! Like, like what is a chord melody?" But it's not that bad, though. I mean, yeah, they tell you all the requirements online, so if you guys just prepare accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
what kind of gigs do you guys play? Like a regular basis, I guess.
For the program, there are different showcases, and we do little performances around campus and stuff like that. But this group particularly, we've only done a couple shows. We did one at Musicians Institute last semester, and we're doing 2 more this semester. One at USC, and one at LAMA, the LA Music Academy. And those are all. That's like one of them's 2 weeks away, one of them's 3 weeks away. So we have a couple busy weeks coming up. Should be fun. But outside of that, we kind of play all over the place. I know we're all in bands and all stay super cripplingly busy. So that's a lot of fun. I don't know if anybody else.
Yeah, I think between us we can cover a lot of everything. A lot of music. I do some. We all probably do a bunch of singer-songwriter stuff, pop, rock. I do some country stuff. I was playing with a prog rock band for a bit. It's kind of just what you can get hired for and what you want to do. So some jazz stuff. I mean,
I think I speak for all of us when I say that outside of the classes and just the academic stuff that's going on in USC around music, it's like what Brian said. There's kind of, you've got all these people here who are into this stuff, so a scene inevitably pops up, and we all do kind of stuff on our own time that kind of stems from that. Like Brian plays in a great band called Carlton. You should check them out because they're really good. We all do different things. I end up playing in a lot of musicals around campus for like stuff that the theater school does, and then I play in rock and pop bands here and there.
Wait, why don't you tell them about Unctuous Rump?
Oh, I play in this goofy little experimental rock band.
They're the best live band in the world, guaranteed. Like if you ever can go to their shows, like
we basically just kind of go up on stage and just goof around every show, musically and
they goof around.
Otherwise, it's basically, if you can imagine, like I don't even know.
It's like choreographed goofiness.
They threw a pinata.
But it's a great thing.
I mean, it's hard for me to talk about it because like I'm in it. So
their last show, they threw a pinata into a crowd full of candy and laxatives. So
and cough drops.
We have YouTube videos. We have SoundCloud.
My favorite part of it was when they had one of our friends come out in a suit in the middle of the show and make a presentation
while we were playing.
While they were playing, and make like almost a PowerPoint presentation on Vic Firth staccato mallets for timpani. And I was crying laughing during that.
It was just kind
so
of
funny.
The whole idea of just kind of interesting music. I kind of liken it to like Frank Zappa meets like Primus or something, combined with just very humorous kind of just stage gags and skits and stuff. So I mean, Jake, what do you do?
I'm in a not as crazy band. I'm in a band called Dale. We play music that's kind of very 60s harmonies meets like kind of Weezer and Nirvana, so like alt rock with a lot of vocal harmonies. Yeah.
They're so good.
Yeah, none of us are in bands as crazy as the Rump. Unctuous. Look them up though, seriously. Unctuous Rump.
And Carlton.
And Carlton.
And
Dale. That's Carlton and Dale. They sound like best friends.
Well, why don't you Angelus Flight?
So my band is called Angelus Flight, and we're kind of changing our sound right now, but we're kind of trying to go in the psychedelic rock route, kind of like what Tame Impala and like Temples are doing. But yeah, we just play. We're basically a trio, but we have my best friend, who is our hype man. We like to call him, and his name is Issa, and he's this big, tall dude with a red afro, and he plays tambourine and he sings and he bangs a cowbell, and he just like, I don't know what we'd do without him. He's just like that secret ingredient to my band. So we're called Angelus Flight. That's enough self-promotion from me. Yeah.
I'm actually a guitarist in the pop program. As far as gigs I play, I have a band, a few people that I work with, and Okay. We're called Professor Scholes, which started out as kind of this like indie rock duo that I was doing with my friend John on upright bass, and then it kind of morphed into this rock band / indie kind of experiment thing. I don't know what we sound like, but I've been writing a lot lately on my own and with a lot of individual people, which is one of the fun things of learning to songwrite in a structured way, because a lot of the people around me have gone through the same kind of pedagogy that I have, so we know how to work with each other really quickly. So a lot of people that I work with are producers. I've top-lined some stuff for a couple producer friends of mine. I guess make tracks underneath a couple people's songs, and right now I'm producing. I have a kind of a backyard studio thing that I'm producing an album for a friend back there, and yeah, it's pretty much it. No, this is the only band I've ever played drums in.
Could have fooled me.
Which is weird.
different note, what kind of opportunities do you guys expect with a PhD in guitar?
Ooh,
Okay. Well, that's me.
that's only applicable to Dr. Steve.
Yeah.
Almost Dr. Steve.
The absolute only reason you would go through something like a doctorate in guitar is to teach at a college or university. Okay. So that's the only opportunity that comes out of there, because in terms of performance, what you can get out of a bachelor's or even a master's is more than enough to just play, and if you just want to gig. But yeah, definitely don't enroll in a doctorate program if you don't want to teach somewhere, because it's a lot of theory, a lot of writing, a lot of extra work other than playing guitar. So.
Well, are you working on publishing anything right now as a...
No, something that some people do is publish guitar books. Eventually, I might be doing some theory papers. If anyone likes Stravinsky, I'm studying some Stravinsky and sonata forms and all that fun stuff. But yeah, that's the only reason. I taught a lot before I enrolled in the doctorate program, and was teaching a lot of private lessons and at a couple schools teaching younger kids, and I didn't enjoy that too much. So I thought I'd go back, get another degree. So I like teaching, and I don't mind teaching, and I know it's going to be a part of my future, so I'd like to teach at a higher level.
Well, so it's not a requirement as having your doctorates to like publish anything, or...
No. There's no dissertation. You have comprehensive exams, oral exams, and 4 recitals. And that's the great thing. I think USC has the only doctoral performance guitar, or it's the only performance guitar doctorate in the world. So everywhere else you have to write long dissertations and write books, and I'd rather play guitar. So USC is a good school for that. What's something you wish you started learning earlier?
Time management.
I feel
Really.
I'd say proper vocal technique for any of you who are vocalists or like kind of starting late. I kind of started late. I sing a lot in the band I'm currently in, and I kind of wish that I had kind of gotten more technique at it early on. I knew a lot of people who took vocal lessons in my whole band. Like they all seem to be very vocally trained, and I'm not. So I have like less stamina than them at that. So I wish I had done that.
I think for me, patience. Just in general with music.
Yeah, and learn proper technique on any instrument, because you can hurt yourself. You can pull stuff in your wrist or tendonitis and all that. So make sure you take care of yourself if you're playing.
My only thing, which I like am realizing over the past like maybe year or 2 years, is like you always have like a lot more stuff to learn than you think you do. So never think you know everything, because if you like start to feel that way, you're only going to realize it and feel that much worse about it. Yeah, sorry, dark, but
I don't think it's dark at all, because it's like, I think embracing the fact that you don't know everything is like one of the best parts of music, because it's just like this big ocean that you can jump into and just get as much as you can from it. And that's great.
But just be open to like learn from other people, because you can totally if you get to a certain point in your head, you can be like, oh man, I don't need to listen to this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He probably does. Yeah. At least teachers and stuff like that. So yeah.
I guess from a guitar point of view, you could look at it from a bass point of view as well. But I started playing guitar pretty early, and I didn't learn the notes really. I just kind of learned chord shapes, and that kind of, I mean, it didn't hinder me from like learning how to play guitar, but it just kind of, like studying guitar in an academic situation has kind of made me backtrack a little bit, because I'm in the studio program with Ethan and Steve, and we play a lot of jazz. So when we're playing with like saxophone players, they know all the notes because they just have one way of fingering like a scale. You know, we can play a scale like 20 different ways. So I just wish I started learning the notes a lot earlier. So if you guys overlook that and just kind of look at shapes, you should just take a step back and just think about what notes you're playing, like intervals and stuff. It's my little guitar nerd out right there.
gear do you guys use?
PRS guitars are the best guitars, hands down.
Did you get paid to say that?
Yeah. Working on that endorsement, so. I don't know. I use PRS guitars. Pedals, they always change. I like the exotic pedals, the AC and BB Plus for overdrives. Delay, a couple of us have the Timelines by Strymon. Strymon makes
Everybody should buy them. They're amazing.
Yeah, they make good modulation effects, choruses, reverbs, delays. Amps, I have a couple. Fenders are really good. It's good to have a Fender around. They can take a beating. You can bring them around. They'll last a while. They sound good. It's good to have this sort of setup. There's a lot of guys who have amps and they use the amp distortion. I think it sounds better, but it means everywhere you go, you have to bring your amp. So it's always good to have a little setup you can bring and just plug into any amp and make it work.
Are there any bass players here? Oh, sweet. Okay. I was curious. Because I know there are a lot of guitar players here, right? Who are the guitar players?
Damn.
Yeah, there it is. That's how it is all the time. But we bass players get more gigs, right? All right. All right. All right. So there you go. There you go. But I use Fender basses. I really like Fender basses, and I have like a multi-effects pedal that kind of does everything mediocrely. But it does everything, just not that well. So, yeah, that's my setup. Ampeg amps, can't go wrong. Ampeg tube amps.
For me, I've got my Ernie Ball guitar here. He has one too. They're great. Pedals, a lot of the same stuff. With I don't know why that's funny. Pedals, it's a lot of the same stuff, like what Steve said. You got the Strymons and the analog. Man, I was talking with one of you about the Riot before. I really like that for the for kind of aping the amp distortion sound that I really like. So there's a plug. Yeah, with pedals, I think the best thing you can do is try out a ton of stuff with your guitar and your amp, and spend a lot of time adjusting with it and messing with it to find the sound that you really like and something that works for you. Because if you're at Guitar Center and everybody's playing Stairway to Heaven behind you and you're playing through a Line 6 Spider, you're not gonna know what that pedal is really gonna sound like. So when you're kind of getting that stuff together, it's really best to use your equipment as much as you can.
I use that 1970s Ibanez is probably my main guitar, and for this kind of ensemble, I like using that Ernie Ball as well. It's a very versatile guitar. And when it comes to pedals, the only thing I like truly live by on that board, I'd say, is the Love pedal on there. It's a really great overdrive, the Eternity Fuse, and I'd say the Rat is pretty good. It's a modified Rat. And the Clyde wah pedal is probably, I don't know. I'm not a big gear guy, honestly. I kind of use whatever's given to me.
I'm the same way. But if you get anything out of this today, guitar players, get a pedal board if you don't have one. I was so lazy. I'm a junior now. I just see that thing that it's pretty cool. It's custom. Yeah. It's made out of wood. My fine arts friend made it, but it took me 3 years in college to get a pedal board together. So just don't be lazy. It's like I look back on it, and I go to gigs and I'm there. I had a pedal bag instead of a pedal board, just with all my pedals thrown into it. I'd sit down and just be like, okay, what do I want to use today? And then take like 15 minutes to just set them all up. This thing, you could just plug right in. It's nice. I still don't have a case, so I'm still kind of messing up a little bit. But I'm getting there. So just, get a pedal board together. It's real nice.
I guess I have, on drums, I have an old Rogers kit that's actually not out here. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin, so I never shipped it out. But that's what I usually play, or my friends' kits. I live in a big house full of musicians. Super recommended if you're going to college. Live with musicians if you're going for music. If you're not going for music, do not live with musicians. As far as I'm a guitarist, so I guess I like cheap things that do one thing really, really, really well. That's kind of the way I roll with gear, because I don't know. It's all about building your sound for me. It's important to me that I have something that people are like, oh, Will sounds like that all the time, or Will has like a few things that he's really good at. Let's call him for that. So I have an old Teisco guitar that does all my like garage rock, like psych rock stuff really well. I have a Tele that I've had since I was 5, and it's still doing great. And that's my only 2 electric guitars. Really cheap Art and Luthery acoustic that I just did a couple mods on, and sounds great. Just sold a Taylor because it sounds worse. And I have a Fender Princeton solid state. Yeah, solid state. I said it. And it's good. It sounds great, actually. Most people can't tell the difference. An Ampeg, Reverberocket, pedals, Big Muff, and Red Witch, Fuzz God, Earthquaker Devices. If you're a guitarist, check them out. They make every cool pedal you've ever not known that you knew about.
I'm going to use that.
Yeah, do. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Does anyone have any questions in the audience? You do.
How did a 5-year-old get a Telecaster?
Actually, I guess I was 6, but sorry about that. Actually, the way I got that Telecaster is I had a 3/4 size $50 classical thing that my mom got me because I was into guitar or guitarists and wanted to play music. She got me that, and she said she'd buy me an electric guitar after I got 200 stars, each star corresponding to 30 minutes of practice. So practice is how I got my guitar. So do that. That's the most important thing. You'll sound better.
Thanks for watching the show, guys. This was 1905 Main Street.